Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika, and here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And today, I want to get a little esoteric, a little witchy, a little craft related, all at the same time. And this is just speaking to those who are probably, most of us are, but for those who are really sensitive to the energies happening in the world right now. Or just in the ethers in the universe. I think we're all picking up on such, honestly, evil energy. And I don't use the word evil very often, but that's what it feels like. Where it just feels, everything feels just corrupted and vile. Everybody is at a heightened sensitivity, regardless of how they feel, because there are people who have their own beliefs on basically, they're not necessarily, their all lives matter. I'll just say it like that. Then we have people who don't believe that people are really sick, or that everything is a lie about COVID-19. And to some degree, they're probably, there is some things that's not honestly on the up and up about it. I think we can all agree. But that's more keeping information from us more so than necessarily giving us information. It's more or less keeping the true, maybe the severity of the issue. I wonder sometimes. I think that's more of the problem than anything. But I digress. All of that, and then is it just me, or do you feel an undercurrent of something bad? Just something really bad going on beyond the bad stuff that's already going on. I would definitely call myself an empath. I don't want to say I shut it off, because that's really not true, but it's more like I can control a little bit more. I'm not so open. I'm not falling to my knees and, smothering other people's emotions and other people's, feelings and things like that. There was a time, and I'll save that for another story time, that happened, and I learned how to do that. And it was someone very close to me, where I felt like I was just, literally drowning in their emotions. But anyway, that's not the case right now, where it's a thing where I feel like that, because I have control over that. But even with my controls, that feeling is really intense. It's intense, and I can feel it's not keeping me from my daily activities. It's not keeping me from sleeping at night. But it's just like a pulsating beat of energy that I can feel, that just feels wrong. Right now, is there hope there? I think it's like we're at a precipice. It could go in any direction. All this chaos is creating change, and when we talk about change, it could go in any way, because change is not always like, oh, well, we want change, or what kind of change. Change could be more worse. It can mean change that we weren't anticipating. It could be what we don't want, not more of, but just a completely different direction that we hadn't even thought of, because evil can work that way. If you are kind of in this space and you're picking up on this, which again, I think if you're remotely paying attention to the world, you probably feel that way, regardless if you practice witchcraft. But for those of us who do, and for those of us who reach into the spirit world, or at least are open to that, if you're open to that energy, you are most likely going to be very sensitive right now to that, and you feel it. Even when you don't want to feel it, you're not thinking about it, it's there. What I'm doing to handle it is I am doing protection spells. I am setting intentions. I am staying laser focused on anything that had anything to do with prosperity and healing, all those types of magical workings. Ooh, what you see here, my little container garden is going. They will stay here for a little bit more longer, as they grow, and then they'll get transferred to pretty pots. I've already started looking for those, by the way. and my other greenery that's just blossoming over here. But there's a excuse me, insect or bug or something in my house going to town munching on my leaves on the plants. So I'm a little tired of providing nourishment for this insect, so we're gonna have to take care of that. So we're gonna take care of these plants momentarily, because they're providing wonderful things by being present in my home. So I want to preserve them and take care of them. But anyway, my point is, that's my point. Me loving on these growing organisms over here, which is very natural, which is very witchy, that sort of thing. Me expressing love and gratitude. That is how I'm overcoming that constant energy that feels wrong and feels vile, actually evil. So that's one of the ways that I'm doing it. Taking care of myself, making sure I go to any checkups, doctor's appointments, follow-up visits, making sure that if I slip up and I'm not maybe exercising as much or eating right, I get up and when I can, I do something. I eat, make a better food choice, or I work out or something like that. Because that quarantine weight, and I was losing weight before this started. Oof. But rather than beat myself up, producing more negativity in my own life and inviting in that negative energy more on a personal level, we're not going to do that. Instead, we focus, on what we can do, and which is another point. I focus on what I can do. What I'm not going to do, that really doesn't matter. Or how much, protest and getting out there and holding up a sign or being part of some sort of group outside. I'm not going to do that. That's not me. And I don't think that's my place. We all have a place. That's not mine. I'm a practitioner. I practice witchcraft, so that's what I'm doing. That's my role, and that's what I'll be doing. And I have a little bit of a platform here, so I'll share some things along the way. But what I ultimately want to do is not so much get rid of the feeling, because I want to still be a part of what's happening. I want to be tapped in, but to stay grounded and protected along the way. And those little activities like doing my plantings and gardenings and maintenance of that. Oops, sorry about that. And all that sort of stuff. That's, and like I said, eating right, getting enough water, getting enough sleep, doing the mundane physical things, which have, I don't know what they're doing, coming in the door anyway, have big results. Making those sort of changes in your life, or instituting that sort of maintenance in your life of drinking water, eating right, and so forth, and exercising, sleep, all that. The other thing is consult your cards, tarot cards, your runes, or whatever divination that you choose to use. Consult that, because there's the bigger message that is happening in the world and that energy, but there might be something specific to what's going on with you. So maybe you want to go ahead and do that. I know that's what I'll be doing. Because this wasn't actually even a content that I planned on creating today, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it because I know it's not just me. First off, I'm seeing other people saying it, but it's something it's underneath where it just feels real sinister. I'm not a doom and gloom type of person. I don't, I'm an optimist mostly. I mean, I have my days where I feel like, this whole thing's just going to come to an end. It's going to crash and burn. We're just all doomed. Of course, we all have those moments because you see just one more tape or you hear one more speech and you're like, crap. Like, how do we come back for this? How do we fix it? But there's the other party. Like, we'll rise above it. Humanity, civility will come back and, or, some new civility. You basically hope for the best out of all of this, and I still do, and that's me most of the time. So when I say this about this feeling, it really does it, and it's I have to question: is it an anxiety thing for me? Is this more personal? I was like, nah, this is not just me. This is something else, because I got good stuff popping off from all the workings that I've been doing. So it's not that. There is definitely a current of something else going. And I think it's just a collective amount of energy from people with all different types of intentions, not necessarily positive, across the world in reaction to the other things that are going on. So, and then I'm sorry, I still think there's something else a little bit more nefarious besides that. If you believe in the spirit world and you believe in deities and things like that, you have to be open that there is some other interference going on. So watch my video about protection magic. If you have other ways of protecting yourself, go ahead, share it in the comments. I'd be happy to give that a try and put my little spin on it. But while doing protection, also do your prosperity work. Also do your healing work. Grounding work as well, but raise energy. Get in the habit of raising energy and store the energy that you raise. Store it, what I call energy coding. You can code it into objects, jewelry, potions that you create, honestly, a deck of cards, and you can pull the cards out. You can get a tarot deck and store energy into it, raise energy, store in there, and the whole purpose could be for your own personal self-care. You pull out a certain card when necessary. You let the card tell you. You randomly pick a card, and it can tell you something to work on as far as from a self-care point of view. Whatever it is, but guard yourself. I said that in my other video, but that's just the energy I have. I'm not predicting anything catastrophic occurring. We hope not. But shore up yours, your home, your property, your space in this world, and secure it, protect it. Call on your ancestors, call on your deities, spirit guides, whatever. All of those, and petition them to provide further protection over you and yours, in your mental state. If nothing else, just for your mental state, your psyche. But anyway, I hope everybody if you're watching this, take heed to that. And if you're feeling the same thing, let me know as well. You can let me know in the comments as well if this is something that you're also feeling, where it's the obvious energy, but there's something else, and you feel it underneath. I'm doing me a tarot spread, and I'm finding a little bit more information about that, see where my part is in all of that. So I suggest you do the same. All right, thanks again for watching. Again, this is Mika with Leap Taken. Go ahead and like the video, please, if you liked it, and subscribe if you have not already. I really, really appreciate that. And if you subscribe, again, thank you so very much. All right, bye.